biggest game since he's been with the Sonics. The two best overall records in basketball. The Suns with a 2-game lead in Seattle, where the Sonics a 15-1 record coming in. And the big stars, you would think, Shawn Kemp leading Seattle and Charles Barkley going at each other. Things rough for Kemp here. He's blocked not once but twice by Oliver Miller. Meanwhile, Barkley, a little teamwork to KJ to Miller, who lays it in. And then Kemp gets involved on the boards. Payton off the miss. Look at Shawn Kemp stay with this until he gets it to go. He had 14 rebounds. Then a little give and go. Payton to Kemp. He's through the lane and sticks it. 22 points. And Paul Westphal praying for help. Again off the Payton miss. Kemp is there for the rebound slam. Although there was a foul called, it was taken away, the hoop, and no harm. Charles next, though, stealing and taking it all the way. He scored 27, but Kemp too much in the end. Vince Askew passing to Kemp, who reverses this time off the cushion. And a little help, Eddie Johnson, the 3-ball, seals the deal. And Seattle taking a bite out of the Phoenix lead in the Pacific, so the Sonics are now 1 game behind the Suns in that division. Derek McKee had 24. Ricky Pierce helping out with 21. Clyde Drexler back in action, activated for the game, and rejected in a hurry by Dikembe Mutombo. Just 1 of 6 from the floor in the first half for Clyde. Look at Chris Jackson in the lane. Nuggets, that goes, and they have a 5-point lead. Second half, Clyde gets going. Spin move, pulls up, and hits the jumper. Then Drexler again. On the alley-oop tip it, he had 17. Dan Issel hates when that happens. Late fourth quarter, Terry Porter to Cliff Robinson. Gets by Dikembe, 19 for Cliff Robinson. And it is Portland 109-100. Duckworth helping out with 18. Mutombo had 19 rebounds in the game. In Sacramento, the Knicks and the Kings going at it, and John Starks, a rough start, running into Kurt Rambis. But Starks warmed up in a hurry, 6 for 6, including that one. In the second quarter, he had 16 points. Here, swishing, dishing, sound like Walt Frazier here. Ewing gets it to go. He had 20 points and 11 rebounds, and Riley likes that. Third quarter, shot clock winding down. Look at this. Spud Webb just got to throws it up, and it drops. It counts. The Knicks come back with Starks stealing and taking it all the way. He was 12 of 16 from the floor and had some big three-pointers. 33 points in the game. They wanted his autograph in Sacramento as the Knicks win at 104-93. Ewing with 11 rebounds. Richmond helping out with 21. Tisdale had 13 boards.
On your birthday, come on. But he was effective when he played. He goes by Chris Mullin for the reverse lay-in and the foul. Vintage Dominique. But he would leave the game in the second quarter with a cut over his left eye, and he wasn't happy about it. Billy Owens, meanwhile, returned for the Warriors. Goes right by Adam Keefe for the slam until in the second quarter, Owens would re-injure his left knee. Watch the knee with the brace on it. Owens is going to be out an undetermined amount of time again. Says he needs to see the doctors and figure things out. He had 10 points. Warriors led in the third quarter by 9. Tim Hardaway with a great shot in the foul. Hardaway 14 points, 18 assists, but Atlanta too tough. Wilkins, Danique, on his birthday, drills the 3, and he's 33 and gets 28 points. Many happy returns of the day in his shack. First quarter, was that staged or what? First quarter, first trip down the court, Shaq the rebound, but Jordan the rejection. Then Shaq doesn't give the backside help as Horace Grant gets the uncontested dunk. But Shaq would get better. He gets double teamed, so he hits the wide open Nick Anderson for the lay-in. Then Shaq some offense. The bullet pass from Scotty Skiles. The jumper and a foul. Bulls by just 3 at the break. Second half, all Chicago. Jordan the no-look to Will Perdue, who makes the wraparound to Horace Grant. I said Will Perdue. Then Jordan on the break to Paxson, who misses, but no one puts a body on Jordan. Big mistake. And Shaq knows it, sitting on the bench, seeing the Bulls win by 16 points, 122-106. Horace Grant shot 12 out of 15, racking up his 26 in a row. First half, easy hoops. Mike Sanders the miss, Sherman Douglas to X-Man, Xavier McDaniel. Then Xavier McDaniel returns the favor to Sherman Douglas for the easy lay-in. The Celtics shot 71% in the first half. Third quarter, the Cavaliers step up the defense. Craig Elo smothering Reggie Lewis, forcing the long shot. Look at this. All right, I guess I got to take it. The Celtics shooting dropped to 36% in the third quarter, but in the fourth, they pick it up. X-Man to Sherman Douglas for the 3. Then McDaniel drives, throws it up, gets the roll. Celtics win it, and Ala Abdelnaby says, hey. I said Ala Abdelnaby. He's from New Jersey. Boston wins it 121-115. Only I would know that.
Just watching. Charles Jones blocking Fred Roberts, and the other way, here comes Larry Stewart, not the writer for the LA Times, but the forward from Coppin State. Bullets by 10. Rex Chapman with a windmill that goes. Bullets by 21 at the half. The Bucks looking to Alan Ogg for a spark, and that's why they don't look to Alan Ogg very much. We kid Alan, but come on. Doug Overton, and the layup goes. And the attorney, Robin Ficker, a typical attorney there. Too much talking and not a whole lot said. The Bullets win, and the largest margin of victory this time alone, nailed by both Willie Burton and Matt Geiger. But in the final minute of regulation, John Stockton with the steal to Larry Krystkowiak to Tyrone Corbin. The Jazz only down 3. 8 seconds to go. Stockton to Krystkowiak. Game tied at 94 into overtime. And in the OT, Corbin going to go inside to Karl Malone to give the Jazz the lead. Final minute, Heat down 6. Glenn Rice with a three-pointer that goes. Then 0.8 seconds left. Harold Miner ties it. Game goes to double OT. And in the final minute of the double OT, Jazz leading by 1 until Stockton hits again. He had 7 in the second extra frame. Ronnie Cycli in Miami go down. In fact, in 7 trips, the Heat has never won in Utah. Karl Malone did have 16 rebounds. Stockton had 15 assists. Miner scoring 27 points for the Heat. At the clip joint, the Rockets win. They had 13 steals in the game. Hakeem Olajuwon, 27 points, 14 boards. Kenny Norman led the Clippers with 26. Manning had 21. And Indiana over the Sixers, Detlef Schrempf with a triple-double. Reggie Miller had 20 points. The Pacers snapping the 76ers mod. Mark Price averaging 20 points and 8 assists for Cleveland. Kenny Anderson averaging 16 points and 8 assists for the Nets. And Kenny Anderson happy to have Drazen Petrovic back in the lineup after missing a couple of games. Feeds him down low, and then Anderson the crossover move, and the Nets up by 1 at halftime. But Mark Price, one of his 10 assists to Larry Nance, who's having an all-star year. And then Price throws up the three-pointer, hit 3 out of 4, scored 18. The Cavs leading by 3. Third quarter, Anderson to Derek Coleman, who sticks at 25 points, 11 boards for Coleman. And then Anderson in the fourth quarter with the Nets up 6 goes to Petro, who hits baseline. It's an 8-point lead. Anderson going to take it himself. This time over Mark Price, 23 points and 10 assists for Kenny Anderson. And the Nets get the best of this when they force 20 turnovers against a team that usually doesn't give it up that easily. Really enjoying his playing time in Washington. Red hot in the first half. Hits the three-pointer, and then look at him concentrate and get that to the hole. 21 points in the first half, 26 in the game. But the Celtics turn to their shooting guard, Reggie Lewis, third quarter. Off the cushion, and then pulls up over Chapman. 21 points in the second half. D. Brown, 10 assists, and a nice bounce pass to Xavier McDaniel for the slam. Pinckney and Marcus Webb enjoying the view as the Celtics playing well. Their 7th straight win. Boston unbeaten in the new year. Mark Macon making it happen with a steal, one of his 3 swipes, and sparking a 20-8 run to start the second half for Denver. Macon had 18. LaFonso Ellis with a swipe and stick at the other end. In fact, Denver as a team had 10 steals in the game. Ellis with 18 points. Nuggets leading 69-55. In the third quarter, blocked shots the order for Danielson's team. Reggie Williams stuffing Charles Smith, and then Jumbo Mutombo denies Patrick Ewing. And then Mutombo, Williams, and Ellis all get in and block Rolando Blackman, and then Ewing. 16 blocks for Denver, 16 for Mutombo, and Pat Riley doesn't like that. The NBA record, by the way, for block shots in a game, 22 by New Jersey, set against Denver. Allison Garfield heard at the controls. First quarter, Dumars, look at this great passing. Isaiah ends up with the short jumper and hits. Then Thomas blowing by Mike Isolino, pulling up 15 first-half points for Isaiah, 17-point Piston lead. Donald Hodge turnaround, so you can't blame Adebayo for that. And you can't blame him for this. Sean Rooks on the missed dunk. They shot 35% of the first half. Watch this play by Terry Mills. In major trouble, down low. Where's he going to go with it? To Mark Aguirre, who hits the jumper. And that does deserve a wow. And the Pistons deserve the win. Isaiah had 20. Mills, 18 points off the bench and 11 rebounds. The Mavericks 0-14 on the road.
To see the youngest coach in the NBA at age 32. He kept telling his assistants during the game, leave me alone, I'm trying to think. Thinking about how Thurl Bailey's going to have 15 off the bench. Thinking about how to stop Dale Ellis, who had 18. This was a seesaw game throughout. Let's go to the second half. Spurs up 5, and Felton Spencer inspired over the Admiral. Cut the lead to 3. Chuck Person around the Admiral to keep it close as well. Moments remaining, though. Avery Johnson. Remember Tark said he didn't have a point guard? Well, Avery Johnson's been starting, and the Spurs have won 4 straight with him at the point. Sidney Lowe said he sweated through a shirt. It didn't help. They still lost by 8, but played a little better Spurs are 4-0, as I mentioned, since Avery Johnson took over at the point. Keep an eye on that. Doug West had 16 for the T-Wolves, 67 for the Unis. When the Sixers beat the Warriors to win it all, and they were the San Francisco Warriors then. It's Tim Hardaway. At any time, in any era, good player. 9 assists and 2 of his 25 points there. Warriors by 2 at the break. Third quarter, Sarunas Marciulionis lighting it up. 12 of 18 from the field. In all, 34 points to pick up the slack. Sixers down 1 in the fourth, but not for long. Clarence Weatherspoon, who's guarding him. Sixers up 1. Jeff Hornacek the 3. Sixers by 4, and Nelly in trouble, and he knows it. Nice pass to Weatherspoon. The Spoon had a big game. As a matter of fact, Hornacek, Weatherspoon, and Dawkins picking up the slack for Hersey Hawkins, who was out with an ankle injury. The threesome combined for 85 points. Golden State loses by 7.
You'd want to watch Sean Kemp and Karl Malone go at each other, and they did at the Delta Center. Kemp taking it inside on Malone. He's called for the foul. It looked like he got that ball cleanly, and he told the officials so. Second quarter, Larry Krystowiak, of all people, putting in his own miss, battling on the boards, and then hitting from outside. He had 9 points in the second quarter to help Utah, but the Jazz come back with Dana Barros. Going to Benoit Benjamin. Yeah, he's still in the league. Sonics had a 1-point lead at the half. Second half, Seattle shot only 41% of the game. Mark Eaton blocking Ricky Pierce. Eaton, 3,000 blocks in his career, 189 behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar all time. On the other end, Tyrone Corbett with the hoop and the foul. The Jazz outscoring Seattle 32-19 in the third quarter. That tied it at 89. Then Karl Malone driving to the hole, plays like a center. All those hands his, tips it in. He had 27 points in the second half, 38 in the game, and in a big win. Utah taking it 96-89. Malone helping hold. Walt Williams lit it up early for Sacramento. On the break, Spud Webb to the Wizard. Tough layup, but he gets it to go. 18 points for Walt Williams. The Kings leading by 7. Here, great pass to Anthony Bonner. The Kings go on a 15-0 run and lead by 9 at halftime. But Charles Barkley, who scored 20 in the game, starts it with defense. Creating the steal, then Dan Marley with a one-handed stick, and Phoenix on a 19-0 run. Only 10 third-quarter points for Gary St. Jean's team, and in the fourth quarter, Oliver Miller to Richard Dumas for the slam dunk. Miller smiling. He played outstanding basketball defensively. The Suns lead by 2 games now over the Sonics in the Pacific. Harold Miner, nice move underneath. He's a reason why Southern Cal is struggling this year, although helping the Heat. Second half, Jerome Kersey with a slam dunk for the Blazers. Cycling rejected by Buck Williams. This game goes to overtime. And in the OT, Terry Porter, the three-pointer from the corner, 11 of 11 from the free throw line. He had 32 points in the game, and the Blazers beat Miami for the 11th time in 11 games. Cliff Robinson and Rod Strickland with 14 each. Team for the Clips this year, not that young. Vlade Divac with a slam dunk, and then Worthy on the break. Lakers leading the Clips by 9. Third quarter, waning seconds, 2-point Laker lead. Hot plate, Williams beats the buzzer to tie it at 81. Then early in the fourth, Ron Harper to Danny Manning. The Clips up 3. And celebrating a little early. 35 seconds left. Harper, nice shot. They have a 4-point lead. It's down to 3. Randy Fund and the Lakers a chance to tie. They go to Vlade Divac. You see how much time in regulation. The 3-ball does not go, but look at how sloppily the Clippers play this. Vlade gets another chance, and that's off the mark, so they just do hang on. The Clippers winning it. Manning finished with 19. Stanley Roberts had 17.
And in the first half, there is the worm on the window. Joe Dumars off the miss, but Dennis is there with the rebound and the putback. 6 points, 11 boards in the first half. 4 minutes left in the first half. Rodman goes up for a rebound. He'll get his 11th of the game, but come down limping, injures his right calf. He said he heard something pop, felt like someone shot him. He says he thinks something's torn in the calf. He was wheeled off in the wheelchair, left the locker room on crutches. Ron Rothstein will find out more on Friday. Well, he didn't find out a lot in the second half, except that his team needs Rodman in there defensively to stop Dominique and stop Stacey Augmon, who were dominant. Then Snoopy Graham will feed Dwayne Farrell with a great pass, an even better lay-in. The Hawks outscored Detroit 62-37 in the second half, and Isaiah Thomas was stopped by Mookie Blaylock, who had 8 assists, 5 steals, and 22 points as the Hawks win by 17. 4 in a row now for Atlanta. Woolridge had 23 to lead the Pistons. Lane Beer had just 3. Revitalized San Antonio in Milwaukee. Offense from strange places. Frank Burkowski led the team with 18. No Alvin Robertson, no Eric Murdoch. So who's shooting outside? Brad Lohaus for 3, and he was fouled. A 4-point play. the Spurs would run. Dale Ellis, traded from Milwaukee, feeling very at home at the Bradley Center. Good feed to Avery Johnson there. Then Lloyd Daniels returns the favor to Ellis, who had a game-high 26, 14 in the fourth. And when you need a big hoop down the stretch, you go to the Admiral, and David Robinson makes it look easy. He's looking for the foul, but look up at the board, got to win by 15. Avery Johnson, 18 points, 16 assists. He started 5 games at the point. Alonzo, there are 3 ways to beat a team. We heard this conversation. Go around them, you can try. And Hakeem working against Alonzo Mourning. Backdoor to Vernon Maxwell. Houston on a 20-2 run. Then he said go over them. Yeah, didn't you hear him? Maxwell the 3, he had 25. Then go through them. Yes, Hakeem the rejection to Robert Horry. Started on the other way. There's Maxwell feeding Horry, who had a career-high 26 and was in foul trouble. Houston led by 19. We heard this. Alonzo said, I'll get you back on the alley-oop. The Hornets get within 7, but in the fourth quarter, Olajuwon baseline around Mourning. 14 points, 19 boards, 4 blocks as Houston wins by 12. Vern Maxwell out of his slump a little bit with 25 points. And after losing 7 in a row, that's now 3 straight, Chris, for the Rockets.